So today's topic is genetic code and cell cycle. Before we go into the topic of translation, a very important topic for your long questions. So to understand the topic of translation, we need to understand the basics of genetic code and cell cycle. I'm taking this because this wasn't taken up before. Now that the class has started, I want you all to settle down, please. So, two topics today: cell cycle, genetic code and cell cycle. So in today's class, we'll be talking about what genetic code is, what are the characteristics of genetic code, what is cell cycle, the different phases of cell cycle, what are the checkpoints in place to take care of those cell cycle activities, and how those checkpoints are regulated. What is a code? Does anybody know in common language what is a code? It's like a language that represents something, right? Like we say code language mein baat karo. So in genetic level itself, we have something called genetic code. So this code translates into certain proteins or certain amino acids, which will then form protein through the process of translation. Okay? So genetic code is like a dictionary that identifies the correspondence between the nucleotide bases and the amino acids that are being formed. Is it understood? We have all been talking about nucleotides in the last previous classes, different types of nucleotides and the sequence of nucleotides. All of those nucleotides are represent something, right? They represent an amino acid. And this genetic code is a dictionary by which we can which acts as a code, as a language, and genetic code is the dictionary that helps us to understand or to translate what this group of nucleotides stand for. Each of this so-called word is represented by 3 nucleotide bases. Okay, they are called codons. And where are they located? They are located on the mRNA strand. We have seen through transcription the mRNA strand that has been formed consists of a number of nucleotides in them, right? So each of these in the group of 3 are called codons. So codons can be represented by 4 letters: A, G, C and uracil or U. So A will represent adenine nucleotide, G for guanine, C for cytosine and U for uracil. Why uracil? Because it's in the RNA strand. They are written from 5' to 3' end, and different combinations of these triplet codon is combination of bases are formed. So 64 of such combinations are formed in our genetic makeup, and out of those 64 codons, 61 it codes for the 20 amino acids. So common amino acids are 20 in number. Anybody can tell me what is the 21st amino acid? We know there are 20 common amino acids. What is the 21st? Anybody? It's called selenocysteine. Okay? Anyway, 20 of them are coded by 61 codons. And the other rest 3 codons, they represent stop codon. What is a stop codon? It stops the protein synthesis. Okay? They act as termination codon. This is the dictionary that I'm talking about. Isme se you can make out you can decode the amino acid, the name of the amino acid. For example, what this over here represents, these rows, each row is represented by each letter over here, right? So यहाँ पे जितने भी amino acids हैं, they are represented by U. यहाँ के सारे amino acids are represented by C. Similarly, A here and G here. This is the first nucleotide. We said there are group of 3 nucleotides. So first base हुआ ये, second base are these columns U, C, A, G. ये middle base हुआ उसका, और जो third base है or the last base is represented by this last column. For example, अगर हमको जानना है what is the code for valine over here, इसका first base कौन सा होगा? G here, right? Because this whole row is for G. So valine G and its first, second, middle base is U over here, right? This is where it stands. So U, and the last base is represented by this one. So this is G. So valine will be coded by G, U, and over here G. In the same way, methionine. If you see methionine here, coded by A, the first nucleotide. दूसरा कौन सा होगा? U here, and तीसरा कौन सा होगा? Over here G. AUG codes for methionine. And you would see here there are many leucines, many prolines, many histidines as well. What does it mean? They are coded by different codons. Okay? Abhi जैसे anybody can tell me what will be the meaning of AUU? अगर किसी base, there is a codon AUU, what does it represent from this whole table? Anybody? First is A, second base or the middle base is U, the third base is also U. Anybody? First base A है ये, second base U, so here U, okay, somewhere here, and third base is U. Third base U कौन सा है यहाँ पे? ये. So it will be isoleucine. Similarly, tell me something that will represent AGU. AGU का मतलब क्या है? First base is A. Serine, right? Anybody who is confused about this? का पहला base A बोला मैंने. So A over here, AGU. So A, so you know this is what you are concerned with. यहाँ A आया, A फिर दूसरा क्या बोला मैंने? G. So G कहाँ पे है? ऊपर में, यहाँ पे, है ना? So इस वाले में G यहाँ आया, ये box, ये वाला group, and then U. The third base is U. U कहाँ है ये? So serine. Okay, this is not something they'll ask you, but you have to understand this is how you decode. This is the genetic code for you. There are certain characteristics of this genetic code that we need to know. They are triplet codon, non-overlapping and non-punctuated, degeneracy of codons, unambiguous and universal. We'll understand what it all means one by one. Yes, the first, to my left, the first column of people, the fourth row, and the fifth row. Can you explain what is the triplet codon? अगर नहीं पढ़ना तो प्लीज क्लास से चले जाओ. I don't need you guys here. Don't waste my time. You guys are going to be doctors and this is how you behave. You cannot stand for 15, 20, 30 minutes. You cannot sit for 15, 20, 30 minutes. If you would rather like to teach over here, please do. I'll be happy to go back to my chamber. And this is the first and the last warning. I'll leave the class. What's a triplet codon? Represented by 3 consecutive nucleotide sequence. जैसा अभी हमने पढ़ा AUG for methionine, and over here example UUU for phenylalanine. Meaning all these codons are 3 in numbers. They are represented by 3 letters or 3 nucleotide bases. Okay, they are read together, which is what we mean by non-overlapping, non-punctuated. They do not have commas in between them. There is no space between them. They are read in a group of 3 in a continuous manner. Over here, see, see this is actual sequence of mRNA. This is how you see in mRNA, okay? But it is being read as a group of 3, like this, AUG, CAU. उसको डिवाइड करके ग्रुप में उसको रीड करते हैं. उसको रीड कौन करता है? tRNA. tRNA is transfer RNA. उसका जॉब होता है, it's a type of RNA that reads the nucleotide sequence on the mRNA. Okay, so this is what is called non-overlapping. They don't overlap with each other. There is no punctuation in between. There is no space in between. They are read in a continuous manner in a group of 3. So we know that each of these group of 3 codons represents something. It represents an amino acid. तीसरा है degeneracy. Understand these things. It will be very confusing later on. You will not understand till your NEET PG exams. When you will be preparing for NEET PG exams, you will have to go through these basic things again. What is degeneracy? I have said 61 codons or codes represent 20 amino acids. इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? There are more number of codons than there are number of amino acids. So each amino acid is represented by more than one codon. You know, for example, serine over here has 6 codons. 6 different codons code for serine. Same way, glycine को represent करता है 4 different other codons. This is called degeneracy. Okay, there are not 20 codons for 20 amino acids. There are 61 of them. This phenomena is called degeneracy. दूसरा, fourth है unambiguous, meaning it is specific. Each codon is specific for one amino acid. So we have said glycine over here is represented by 4 codons. Glycine के 4 codons है, is represented by 4 different codons, but for each of those codons, they only code for glycine. For example, let's say there is a mother has 4 different children. Okay, mother is represented by 4 different children, right? But for each of those child, each of those children have only one mother. Something like that. In that sense, if you can make up, उस mother के 4 बच्चे हैं, she has 4 different children, but each children has only one mother, that particular mother. So in the same way, each of these codons code for only one specific amino acid. AUG सिर्फ methionine को code करेगा. AUG will not code for phenylalanine. Okay? And universal meaning चाहे वो elephant हो, चाहे E. coli हो, चाहे prokaryotes हो या eukaryotes हो. Whatever we say, each codon representing a particular amino acid, it is same across all the organisms in the living world. Okay, it's not different in bacteria, it's not different in human beings, it's not like that. There is no difference. It all represents the same thing, except for something called mitochondrial DNA. You know, there are 2 different types of DNA. One is in the nucleus and one is in the mitochondria. We are not bothered about mitochondrial DNA because it doesn't have much effect, doesn't have the same function as the nuclear DNA. But इसमें एक difference है. This difference over here. AUA codon represents isoleucine in the nuclear DNA. When we say DNA, we mean nuclear DNA. Okay. So the actual DNA हमारा, that is isoleucine. AUA represents isoleucine. But AUA in mitochondrial DNA, it represents methionine. In nuclear DNA, methionine is represented by AUG, right? Same with UGA, represents a termination codon in nuclear DNA, but in mitochondrial DNA, it codes for tryptophan. AGA codes for arginine in the nuclear DNA, but it acts as a termination codon for the mitochondrial DNA. Same with AGG, codes for arginine again, but it is termination codon in mitochondrial DNA. Except these 4 differences, they're also within the same cell. There is no other difference across organisms. Like I said, each of those codons are read by the tRNA. Okay, tRNA, this is the structure of tRNA. Okay, these are different arms of tRNA. There's an acceptor arm, there's a T arm, there's a D arm, and there's an anticodon arm. And they are all made up of nucleotides only, nucleotide sequence in this shape. And anticodon arm is the one that reads the mRNA from 5' to 3' direction, and they form base pairing. So अगर mRNA में for example UUU है, so this will give a corresponding bases and they get attached to each other. That is how tRNA reads this mRNA and translates into an amino acid, which we will read later on. So most tRNA recognizes more than one codon. There is something called Wobble hypothesis. What is it? Like I said, there is that a single tRNA recognizes more than one codon, and how does it happen is explained by this Wobble hypothesis. So each codon is represented by 3 nucleotides, right? So in case, what this hypothesis says is that each of these, the first 2 nucleotides of one codon, each codon का पहला और दूसरा nucleotide, they are similar in structure, they are same, and the third base or the third nucleotide is different. So what happens is that the first two nucleotides are same, the third nucleotide is different. The first two nucleotide forms strong base with the anticodon arm of the tRNA. But जो तीसरा वाला होता है, that is loose or it wobbles, meaning it's unstable, moves from side to side. And उससे क्या होता है? During the protein synthesis, it gets the tRNA, it has to go away from this mRNA sequence. So that process happens easily. tRNA gets released from that sequence easily. This phenomena helps the tRNA to recognize more than one amino acid or more than one codon. Okay? So see, this is the nucleotide sequence over here. First दो इन दोनों ने अच्छा pairing किया हुआ है, base pairing, right? Complementary base pairing according to Watson-Crick model pairing. ये जो third वाला है, it has a loose pairing with the third nucleotide of the tRNA arm, the anticodon arm of the tRNA. ये tRNA है, so it wobbles from here and there. So that if all of these three were to have strong base pairing with the tRNA, उसमें क्या होता है? It will not. Then the tRNA will dissociate slowly, and this would limit the protein synthesis. So because this is loose, therefore protein synthesis also happens fast, and it helps tRNA to recognize more than one codon. So अगर पहला दो codon same है, sorry, first two over here you can see this CUC represents leucine. CUU also represents leucine, but CU over here same है ना, first two nucleotide same है, but the third nucleotide C and U are different. इस side में C है, इस side में U है, so they are different nucleotide. On the last nucleotide is different, last pair is different, so they will have the same tRNA. Just because तीसरा वाला different है, so same tRNA will code for both of them. But in case अगर say for example UAA, CUA, both of them also represent leucine, but they have different tRNA recognizes them. Why? Because इसका first U और इसका first C अलग अलग है. So difference in the first two nucleotide. Any codon that has or amino acid that is coded by these codons, they are different in the first two nucleotide. They will have different tRNAs representing them. Okay, so from this whole story we understand that each codon or each amino acid doesn't need 61 of them doesn't need 61 amino acids. Only 32 of them is enough to identify those codons. Then there is something called termination codon. Termination means what? It stops protein synthesis. Okay, so those are termination codons or stop codons. इधर लिखा हुआ है UAA, UAG and UGA. One of the very common viva questions they can ask from genetics: name the stop codons and name the initiator codon or start codon. Initiator codon is AUG. By the way, AUG also represents methionine. इसीलिए in translation during protein synthesis, methionine is the first amino acid that is formed. So initiator codon means it initiates the protein synthesis. Okay, and stop codon is these are the signals that will signal the mRNA or the tRNA to stop the protein synthesis. That was about genetic code. Now we'll learn about cell cycle. What is cell cycle? It just represents a series of events that takes place between two mitotic division, between two cell division. अंदर क्या होता है cell के अंदर? That is represented by cell cycle. 4 phases of cell cycle are there. From this picture itself you can see G1 phase, S, G2 and M phase. Okay, and then you would see something like G0 phase over here. G0 में क्या होता है? Any cell that has to undergo repair. It's like a workshop. So those cells that are not good or who are gonna die, they go into the G0 phase and they remain dormant in there until they undergo apoptosis, or if they undergo repair, after they're okay, they enter into the G1 phase. So that was the phase. Over here you will see something called interphase, meaning interphase starting. This is interphase starting from G1, S and G2 phase. So what is an interphase? It is the phase between the end of M phase to the beginning of another M phase. M phase means mitotic phase. Okay. इसके एंड में से लेके इसके बिगिनिंग तक जो फेज है उसको हम इंटरफेस बोलते हैं. Okay. Now, what happens in G1 phase? Their biosynthetic activity of cell increases. There is protein and RNA synthesis happens, and they increase in number, and the duration is about 6 to 12 hours. Then we have something called S phase, where DNA is synthesized. DNA undergoes replication once. Okay, this is about 8 to 10 hours long. Then comes G2 phase before the mitosis. Okay, G2 phase में क्या होता है? There is cytoplasmic enlargement, microtubules are synthesized, and histones are also synthesized in this phase. Then comes the mitotic phase, where cell division actually happens. Mitotic phase में 2 daughter cells are produced. It lasts for about 1 hour, and after mitosis, either those cells who are not well, who needs repair, will go into G0 phase, okay, or they'll enter into the G1 phase, the next cycle. So there are certain checkpoints in this cell cycle, different phases of cell cycle, right? If you would have seen, like, these checkpoints are like security, like between 2 states. एक state से दूसरे state में जाओ तो there are certain checkpoint areas where police will check your ID cards or for whatever purpose you're going. Or if within the state, if there are some autonomous district areas, and then to enter that area or enter their headquarters, the police will check you. For what? For security purpose. They want to know if bad elements enter into that area or not, right? In the same manner, these checkpoints want to ensure that there is perfection in the whole cycle. Whatever activity is happening, say spindle shapes, the spindles are formed nicely, there is proper segregation of chromosomes, the DNA replication is going okay. So to ensure all of this, we have these checkpoints. Okay, there is checkpoint G1 checkpoint, okay, there is G2 and N checkpoint. G1 checkpoint में क्या होता है? It makes sure that the proper genetic makeup of the cell is done before it goes into the S phase. In G2 checkpoint में check will be here, right? So the cell materials from here will the cell will enter into another phase of mitosis. Mitosis is cell division, right? Before the cell starts to divide, it makes another cell. You want to make sure that everything is perfect, so there is G2 checkpoint. Even here, M checkpoint, there is arrest of cell in case it has any damage. The cell has any damage, it goes into G0 phase then. So again, same diagram. How are these checkpoints managed or regulated? So they are done by a group of proteins known as cyclins and cyclin-dependent kinases or CDKs. Okay. So there are different types of cyclins and different types of CDKs that are known. Cyclin is the regulatory unit and CDK is the catalytic unit. CDK is the enzyme. Okay. And for CDK to be activated, it has to bind to the cyclin protein. Since CDK is a kinase enzymes का काम क्या होता है? Phosphorylate करना. So it phosphorylates certain proteins that are used in the cell cycle, okay, and activates them or deactivates them. So at G1 checkpoint में क्या होता है? There are the main protein over here is retinoblastoma protein. This protein was actually found in the retina, in the tumor of retina called retinoblastoma. So now they found out that this protein is also used in cell cycle regulation. So the name remains the same, retinoblastoma protein or RB protein. अब क्या होता है? Under normal condition, RB protein or retinoblastoma protein, in case there has to be an arrest of cell cycle, it binds with a transcription factor known as E2F. Okay, when it binds to it, it causes inactivation of E2F. So E2F रहेगा नहीं, so there will be no transcription. Okay, so at G1 there will be cell cycle arrest. This is an early G1 phase. But the complex of cyclin D and CDK4 and cyclin D CDK6, it acts on the RB protein causes it to phosphorylate, causes phosphorylation, meaning addition of phosphate group, उससे RB protein inactivate हो जाता है. Okay, when there is a phosphate group attached, it gets inactivated. तो उससे जुड़ा जो E2F है gets released and it is free to undergo transcription. तो जब transcription होगा का मतलब क्या है? Cell will go from G1 phase to S phase. Okay, this is what it means. And this is all done by the complexes of cyclin D and CDK 4, 2 and 6. Same way, there is one at G2 checkpoint as well. This is done by cyclin D and CDK1. Okay, so this is also known as maturation promoting factor. Usually cyclin B and CDK1, they are in the nucleus, they are in inactivated form. But the phosphatase over here, you see phosphatase enzyme, it causes it to activate. Okay, it dephosphorylates this complex and it gets activated. Cyclin B and CDK1 gets activated. And जब ये खुद activate है, उसका काम क्या है? Just like it phosphorylated retinoblastoma protein, it also causes phosphorylation of other enzymes like kinase, other proteins like kinesin and other proteins that are involved in the cell cycle. Okay, and that will cause the bipolar spindle formation and that will undergo mitosis. Now, if there is any cell damage or if there is, let's say, a DNA strand break, what it causes, it sends a signal that activates the kinase protein, which will then inhibit phosphatase enzyme. Phosphatase enzyme inhibit hoga, so it will not work on cyclin B and CDK1, so it will remain inactivated. So cell arrest will occur. Okay? So these activities, apart from phosphorylation and dephosphorylation, there are also specific CDK inhibitory proteins. I'm not going into details about that. They are also present. Along with that, there is cyclins, not mentioned here. Different cyclins over here, you would see different phases. It increases in number and then it decreases in number. The concentration goes up and down. So even its concentration, increase in its concentration and decrease in its concentration regulates the CDK activity. And then there are inhibitors. Like I said, DNA damage hua, so it gets inhibited, right, through the kinase activity. Apart from that, oncogenes are also, it disrupts cell cycle. What are oncogenes? Genes that are involved in, genes or proteins that are involved in cancer formation. Okay, one of them is P53, very important for your short notes. P53 gene is a tumor suppressor gene, meaning suppresses the tumor, activity of tumor. It arrests the cell cycle at G2 and M phase. लेकिन हमने देखा गया, it is seen that in 50% of the cancer, this P53 gene is suppressed. So अगर P53 gene suppressed होगा, so that means there will be no suppression of the cancer cells, so the cancer increases in size. Cyclin D in itself is seen in some of the cancers, like BCL2 gene in beta cell lymphoma cancer. It is seen that cyclin D gene is involved. So the excess of cyclin D also could result in unrestrained cell division and it may lead to cancer. This is your class for today. Have you all given your attendance? Cell cycle can come as short notes. Don't forget to draw the diagram. And P53 gene can come as short note for you, and so many from the previous slides can come as in your Viva, especially the genetic code part. Okay, thank you.